You may never get the answer that you are looking for from your partner, but there are several common reasons why someone leaves a relationship. Hi everybody, this is Life with Leonard and welcome to another episode. Now on this channel, if you are new here, I strive to motivate and inspire you to become the best version of yourself. And if that type of content interests you, can I kindly ask you, if you haven't, to please subscribe to my channel, to like this video and to share it. Now those things are good for the YouTube algorithms, and that way we would grow and we would be able to reach more people who you and I both know would be able to benefit from the contents of these videos. No relationship is perfect. Most have a make it or break it point. Love would be so much easier if the line between in love and out of love was a heavy, bold one, clearly visible from the distance, even on a stormy day. It would have been so helpful if the path that leads to that line came with warning signs the size of billboards. But all of us are at its mercy. Some people would settle on the fact that it is better to have loved and lost than not to have loved at all. But love is only part of it. Love is important, but that is half the battle. What's so crazy about that in love feeling is like wearing rose-colored glasses, that happy or positive attitude that fails to notice negative things, leading to a view of life that is not realistic. Now these are often driven by external factors and not just individuals meddling in, but also the media, more specifically those romantic movies, are some of the reasons why people fall in love and out of love so frequently these days, because they expect only good times, they expect only happiness and joy. They live in this fantasy world, and when it doesn't live up to that reality, well, then they throw in the towel, they give up, they leave. Now you may never get the answer that you are looking for from your partner, but there are several common reasons why someone leaves a relationship. Given that what I am going to share with you today in this episode might just sting a bit, but let me just assure you that my intent is not to belittle you or hurt you or even to humiliate you. Not at all. I'm merely here to help you, and maybe you can find some closure too. Now, no two relationships are the same, but the reasons people fall out of love often are. The first reason that your partner might have left. Your partner wasn't in love with you anymore. This is one of the most common reasons people leave a relationship. Now you could argue that all long-term relationships lose their spark, but falling out of love usually is a code for I am done here. While there are cases in which couples fall back in love, most often it's hard to renew this emotional connection. As hard as it is, a way for you to cope with it is to try not to take this personally. Remember that people fall in love and out of love all the time. And you probably don't want to be with someone who doesn't love you. You heal your ego and your heart first, and then see where you stand with your emotions. They say that loving someone who doesn't love you back is like hugging a cactus. The tighter you hold on, the more it hurts. The second reason a partner leaves is when they don't have anything in common with you anymore. This always seems like something that can be worked on or fixed, but when two people live separate lives, they can eventually grow too far apart. This happens slowly and mysteriously until one day there are no common interests and someone gets bored and wants to move on. Now in many cases, there were no common interest to start off with. This will make coming back together even harder. And ways for you to cope with this roller coaster of emotions. It's painful to realize that, after keeping someone as your priority for so long, that you were just an option to them. But for your own sanity and mental health, you need to keep moving. This is a great opportunity and time to ask yourself, what do you want to do with your time, and how do you want to live your life? As hard as it can be to lose your partner, there probably is some part of you that shuts down or get lost in the relationship. Use the time to rediscover that now. Perhaps your partner left because they felt ignored or unappreciated. I guess it's important that you do some introspection as well. You see, as with a garden, when a relationship isn't tended to, it withers and dies. If you have underappreciated your partner or neglected to nurture the bond between you, your partner might have broken off like a dead limb on a tree. Maybe there were reasons you didn't want to put energy and time into the relationship, or perhaps you felt like it was your partner's job as much as it was yours. This all may be true, but once the life goes out of a relationship, it takes a lot of work to cultivate it back to where it needs to be. Use this time to work on taking responsibility for your part, forgiving yourself for what you could have done differently, and letting go of how you think it should have been. Try to relinquish anger and resentment to create space for understanding and growth. Sometimes the spark disappears because your partner felt like you became more of a sibling, like a sibling than a partner. Many committed relationships and marriages for that matter, particularly those that started at a young age, turn from romantic to familial. These are couples that often grow up together and then grow apart. Husbands become brotherly and wives become sisterly until it just feels too weird to be romantic. Now, one of the most common reasons why these are hard situations is because there is still a strong emotional connection, if you get what I'm saying, between the two, but no physical connection. Many people choose to stay in these kind of marriages or relationships, but for many, giving up romance and sex is just not an option. This is particularly challenging if you know that you really tried to make it work, but the spark was simply not there anymore, no matter how hard you've tried to rekindle it. Perhaps it's best that you just accept it and try to at least save the friendship. Your spouse or your partner, I mean, you've known each other since forever. More than likely you grew up together, as I mentioned. You should work on taking responsibility for your part, forgiving yourself for what you could have done differently, and letting go of how you think it should have been, and try to relinquish anger and resentment. That should afford you the opportunity to create space for understanding and growth. And lastly, this is arguably the most difficult one. What do you do when you find out that your spouse is in love with someone else? Do you call it quits? Do you leave? Do you try to get them back, to get them to fall back in love with you? I know it hurts like crazy. It's a shock to your system, and there's probably a ton of stuff running through your head right now. I mean, this person promised to spend a lifetime with you, and now they're with someone else. You are in pain, you are angry, you are questioning yourself. Is there something wrong with you? Did you not satisfy them? And on top of that, when you turn to your friends and family for advice, they'll probably tell you to get a divorce or to break up. But that's not the only option. In fact, every situation and or relationship, as unique as they are, the fundamentals are the same. How you could cope during this very difficult phase is not to think of your spouse or your partner's new lover as your competition. And remember, you can't control the other person. Instead, what you can do is start working on yourself, physically, intellectually, emotionally, and spiritually. Work to become the best that you possibly can be. Not because you believe that you are just terribly flawed and that's why your partner left you. No, not at all. But because of the fact that you need to become a better person anyway to get through this. You do it for yourself. Let your rock bottom become the solid foundation in which to rebuild your life. All the best on your journey. I know it is very painful where you are right now, and I sincerely hope that what I've shared with you in this episode, it was actually inspired by a post that I saw on Facebook of somebody I gathered. I don't really know the person, it's a friend of a friend. That case, I gathered that the person is going through a lot, and that prompted me to just record this video. And I mean, it was a good thing, because otherwise I would not have had this opportunity to talk to you. And I sincerely hope that what I've shared with you was of value to you, and it will help you to overcome. It will help you to accept. I think that's another very difficult thing, but I mean, it builds character, and I just believe that you will get out of this a better, stronger, well-rounded, happier person. It might not be what you want to hear right now, but I mean, somebody needs to talk to you, and I am so glad that you clicked on this video and that you've watched it right to the end. And for those of you who haven't subscribed yet, can I kindly ask you to please subscribe to my channel, to like this video, and to share it. Those things are good for the YouTube algorithms, and that way we would grow and we would be able to reach more people who you and I both know would be able to benefit from its contents. And subscribing, two things. Firstly, it is absolutely free. It doesn't cost you a cent. And secondly, as you know by now, it's really easy. You can just click on that subscriber button in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and please remember to hit the all notifications, and that way you would be notified and you won't miss out whenever I upload new videos. Thank you so much, everybody. I see you in the next episode. Stay blessed.